You obviously know Kung Fu.
Joining us today on the Kung Fu Driving podcast, I have actress, martial artist, dancer, guitar hero, impresario, and coming to a widescreen near you April 18th with the Wedding Banquet, Bobo Lay. Bobo, thank you so much for hopping on the Kung Fu Driving podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. That was such a cool intro.
Thank you so much. As a martial artist, you might recognize it from it's probably long before your time, but you might recognize it as the Shaw Brothers intro.
So cool. I loved it.
Speaking of that, though, I did want to touch on something because we have similar tastes. So you are not at all shy about letting your geek flag fly with your love of comics and anime and manga.
I am obsessed, and I have been since I was a little baby.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with that in mind, though, what was it like for you as an actress to hop into the DC universe with the Flash and Legends of Tomorrow?
It was insane. I honestly couldn't believe it. Like I had a small part on the show, but just to be there and to be around all these amazing, incredible people and to tour the studios and see how everything is done, it really just the geek inside me was just like, oh my goodness.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But now, again, coming to theaters April 18th, you've stepped out of this superhero world and into the Wedding Banquet. What an amazing ensemble cast there: Bowen Yang, Lily Gladstone, and so many more names. How starstruck, honestly, were you during some of those shooting days?
It was insane for me. Meeting Bowen, first of all, we had before we even got on set, our director Andrew, he hosted a little dinner for us to meet and get to know each other. And when I saw Bowen walk into the restaurant, I lost my mind. Also, like Kelly too. I'm such a huge fan of all of them. And Lily, I didn't get to meet her until I was on set and I was getting my hair and makeup done before one of my scenes. And then Lily Gladstone walks in and she's sitting beside me. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's Lily
Gladstone. It's great story too, though, because your role wasn't necessarily that large, but it grew kind of organically. Can you tell me a little bit about that? You're playing Kendall, I think Bowen Yang's cousin.
Yeah, that's right. So originally, Kendall was just supposed to be, Bowen's character's friend. And I guess Andrew just loved this chaotic sibling dynamic that I brought to the character. And he was like, wait, they can be cousins. This is even better. And he started kind of developing their relationship with each other, which then, ended up my part getting expanded. So yeah, it was insane. I guess, yeah, it was the chaos that I brought, I think, that really inspired it.
That chaos is nothing new to you. I mean, you come from a background of street dancing and and again, Guitar Hero and all that stuff. But so how did acting become a whole part of your goals?
I think for me, with dance and my love for comics and all the video games and geeky things, is my favorite thing is really the storytelling. And all of these stories, have had such a profound effect on me and my upbringing. So it was only natural that I wanted to explore something like acting and being able to tell my own stories, and and put myself into these different universes. But yeah, I started acting about 7 years ago, and it's been amazing. Discovering new aspects of myself through acting and being able to be part of these different worlds. From DC to the Wedding Banquet.
Yeah. Now, at the top, I did mention that you have a martial arts background as well. How involved and how important was martial arts for you growing up?
It was the thing that I did pretty much every single day when I was a kid. I loved, I was in the dojo pretty much every day. And so many of my friends, it was such a huge part of my childhood. And I felt that doing martial arts really translated into dance because I was very, comfortable in my body and with, movement. and it's so amazing because both martial arts and dance, the physicality of it really translates into acting for me as well. So yeah, martial arts is so dear to me, and it's a way to it's a physical expression, I feel, and I love to fight.
What kind of martial arts though did you study?
I mostly did Hapkido, so it was like a mixed martial art.
And then somehow in the somewhere in there you also managed street dancing and kind of taught yourself dance. Is that right?
I did, yeah. So I remember I used to watch So You Think You Can Dance on TV, and I would, just like copy their moves, and then YouTube became a thing
Yeah.
in the early 2000s. So there were these like YouTube tutorials, and I taught myself just from watching these tutorials, and yeah, and it's amazing because Kendall wasn't supposed to dance originally in the movie, but at my callback audition with Andrew, at the very end, he asked me, "Do you have any questions about the script or anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, I realized that there's like a part in the movie where Kendall goes to the club," and I told him like, "I can dance." So I pulled out my phone and I put on a random song on Spotify, and then I started freestyling for Andrew and our producers, and they were dying.
Ah,
They were just losing it. And then Andrew ended up writing it into the movie.
y- either you have no fear or no shame. Which one is it?
Probably both. I think something just kind of, so the demons took over, and I was like, I guess that's what we're doing now.
That's awesome. Now, something else about the wedding banquet, which I think is important. It's another vehicle for kind of Asian representation. Were you guys conscious of that potential impact of the film while you were making it?
Oh, absolutely. I think that there aren't a lot of movies like this. And for us to be a part of this project, being Asian and queer, it's a project that really, really, really resonates with us. And we feel so fortunate and grateful that this kind of movie even exists. For us to just, even if we weren't in this movie, um, it's so meaningful for us to just be able to watch a movie like this in this day and age. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I think about this pretty much every day, and that like if I wasn't in this movie, I would be ecstatic that it even exists. I would see it on day one release because it's such a beautiful, heartwarming story, and yeah, and just to be a part of it, it's just like it blows my mind that I get to be in
Yeah.
this.
So for non-Asians and for just audiences in general, what do you think they are going to take away from the wedding banquet?
I think regardless whether you're Asian or not Asian, queer or not queer, it doesn't really matter. I think our characters go through these like absurd little situations, and you get to see, people just come together, and there's these themes of chosen family and being around the people that love you, despite whatever it is that you're going through, they will support you. And it's just a little bit of chaos, a whole lot of love, and it just is a really, really great time. So I think that no matter who you are, I think that you'll enjoy it.
There's something for everybody to relate to, I'm sure, right?
I think so. I think so. And then it's our characters. They're so sweet, and it's such a lived in story. And I do feel that yeah, you'll find something in there for you.
That's cool. Now, you don't get to do martial arts in this, but is that something as someone who's accomplished martial arts? Is that something that you would like to do later on? Do you want to explore that completely physical side of things and be like an action hero for the future?
Absolutely. I would love to. I think that my dream is to be able to combine martial arts and do these, martial arts and maybe a little bit of comedy in there. I think
Yeah.
something, in the Marvel realm, or, my favorite movie on this planet is Kung Fu Hustle. Something
Ah,
really crazy.
awesome.
So yeah, I would absolutely love to. And it would be a dream come true for me to be able to do that.
It's funny you say that. Chu Chi Ling in Kung Fu Hustle has been on the show several times. He's a friend of the show, and I love that movie. I think it's so fantastic. But you could definitely usher in that new Jackie Chan energy, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's cool. So, beyond the wedding banquet, what has the acting world presented to you going forward? Are you looking into different genres now? Or are you looking to maybe write or direct or anything like that? I mean, you might still be kind of new to the whole thing. So, what are the long term projections for you?
You know what's amazing? I think that after doing the wedding banquet, even from the start of the wedding banquet, is I've had so many firsts. This is my first big, feature film, and it has taken me around the world. Like I was just in London. It was my first time in Europe. We had our big international premiere over there, and then I was in Utah for Sundance. I've never been to Utah, and now I'm going to LA, and I've never been to LA, and I'm getting to meet all kinds of amazing people that work in the film industry, and it's been so nice to be able to connect with them because I would have been able to otherwise. So the wedding banquet has brought me so many opportunities and has introduced me to these incredible people, and I think that it's going to open a lot of doors for me. I'm super open to acting in any genre, whether it's drama or comedy. If I get to dance, if I get to do martial arts, I'm super open, and I am happy and grateful for anything that comes through for me. And in the far future, I would love to explore more. Whether
Yeah.
it's writing or directing. But yeah, as of right now, I just excited to meet people and to just talk about these new stories that are going to be told.
Well, speaking of those stories and the people that you've met, who are some of those people that you really kind of want to work with, you're hoping to work with? Some of those idols that may be a little bit that might be out of reach right now, but probably won't be for long.
You know what? I really do want to meet the people at the Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
That is definitely, I think, in my dreams, in my wheelhouse. I see myself being like maybe like an alternate universe Spider Girl or
Nice.
something along those lines. So Marvel, if you're listening.
That's funny. I actually have a few ties to Marvel, so I'm going to pass that on and make sure that they hear. But yeah, if you read the mangaverse version of the Marvel universe, there was that character that was in the Spider-Man mech suit. I don't know if you remember that at all, but you should
Oh,
check that story out.
cool. A mech suit.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta look this up.
All right. What about your hopes for what the wedding banquet will do for Asians and for families and just for people in general?
It's such a beautiful story that's being told, and I hope that it'll inspire people. Uh, for whoever is watching, that they get to create their own version of happiness. And in terms of film, I hope that we'll get many, many, many more stories just like this one that get to be told. And I hope that a lot of people will get to see the movie and just feel this warm, tingly, happy feeling inside. And I think that's what we all felt while we were working on this. So we hope that it makes the viewers feel the same.
That's cool. That's awesome. What about some advice to aspiring actors who want to break into the industry? Um, what would you say for them to kind of explore uh, following their dream and being the next Bobo Lay?
I would say, dive straight into the things that you love most. So for me, it's video games, it's anime, it's movies, and it's just consuming, because I think that's what really keeps me inspired. And then, obviously the craft of it is, getting into acting classes and meeting people and having a community of support and the more people that you meet that are like-minded and want to make stuff with you, you can start making your own content. We got iPhones now, you can write your own stuff, just do everything that fills your heart, and I really do believe that the rest will come, because that's what happened for me with the Wedding Banquet.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you're Canadian, so do you think it's at all different breaking into the industry, being Canadian as opposed to being an American?
Absolutely. I think it is quite different for Canadians, because I'm from Vancouver, and we're a smaller market in comparison to, LA. Um, so a lot of the roles that we read for are typically more, day players and maybe supporting characters. Yeah, it's not often that, we get to read for these, major, big leading roles. So, uh, to be a part of the Wedding Banquet, to me is very surreal that I had this opportunity, because they were actually originally planning to shoot the Wedding Banquet in LA, and they decided to move it to Vancouver, pretty last minute, and I found myself, I think the stars just aligned.
Well, go into that for me a little bit. What was your discovery story then?
My discovery story, like getting into the Wedding Banquet.
Sure.
Oh yeah, so I got an audition, like I usually do, a typical audition that came through from my agent, and yeah, they were searching for their Kendall, and I read for it. My first round was through a home self tape. I actually taped my right here in my room. And then I had a callback audition where I went in person to meet Andrew and Joe and Caroline, our producers, and I did it again. And then from then on, I think maybe 4 or 5 days later, I got a call that I booked the part. And then Andrew called me in. I went in for my wardrobe fitting, and he told me that he was going to rewrite the character and expand it. So, yeah, I think that's my discovery story.
That is so cool. Now, when they were going to expand that character,
Yeah.
was there a moment of like, what's happening here? Is this real?
I, I was very confused and shocked, and I had no idea. I didn't know what to expect, of course, and you know I felt all kinds of emotions of just like, how is it going to be expanded? Am I getting more lines? Am I getting more scenes? What am I doing with Bowen? I don't know. um, but it was just so exciting, and it was the best news that Andrew gave me, and I still can't, I still can't believe it till this day.
That's great. That's really great. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck with the wedding banquet and beyond that too. There's a one more thing that I want to touch on. Your Guitar Hero skills.
Mhm.
Can you go into that a little bit? You won a championship when you were 11 for Guitar Hero?
I did. There was this competition that was being thrown, and I think I was very very young, and I actually didn't own Guitar Hero when I was a kid. There was
Of course
there's a
not.
shop there's a shop in Canada called Future Shop. It's basically like Best Buy, and they had this demo area where they just when you could play video games at Best
Yep.
Buy.
Yep.
So I would go there every day and just play the demo. You don't even get all the songs because it's a demo. So I just play the same songs over and over again. And I would just go up in difficulty each time. And I got so good at it. I entered this Guitar Hero competition and I won.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Now you had access to that store because I think your parents worked at a mall, so you were running around the mall.
Yeah.
I can see where this chaos came in.
Running around the mall, spending all my days in Future Shop, playing all the demos. That was my entire childhood. Yeah.
That's cool. I want to test one more thing that I read about you. All right, I'm going to read this line and let's see if you can pick it up from there. All right.
Okay.
We tried to activate our micro grapplers, but they didn't deploy. Nothing works here.
This was in Spy Kids 2. One more time.
We tried to activate our micro grapplers, but they didn't deploy. Nothing works
Is
here.
this is the scene when they're at the island and the magnet like kind of shuts off all the technology in the on the entire island, so none of their gadgets work at all. Like none of their camping gear, none of their grapplers, nothing is working.
Yeah, so from what I understand, you were a Spy Kids 2 addict when you were younger. So that was
I
the throwback
love
there.
Spy Kids too. I wanted all the gadgets. You know, like the watch thing when they like, oh, like Junie shows off his watch, and then Gary's like, oh, we have like better watches, and it like pops up like this like 3D. That was the coolest thing ever.
Again, not afraid to let that geek flag fly. That's awesome. All right, so again, Wedding Banquet out April 18th. You must be so proud and so excited to have that ready to roll out there. Best of luck with everything that you have going on. What do you want to say to the Kung Fu Drive-In fan base out there in terms of watching out for Bobo Lay?
I hope you have an amazing time watching the Wedding Banquet, and I hope you feel these warm, tingly butterflies in your stomach when you watch our movie. And I can't wait to hear all about what you think about our film.
That's awesome. Bobo Lay, thank you so much for stopping by. And again, best of luck with the film. Best of luck with your career. Looking forward to the martial arts awesomeness that you unleash on the world whenever that comes to fruition. But we'll definitely be watching out for you, and hopefully you'll come back and update us on what's going on.
Thank you so much. I had such a great time speaking to you, and I can't wait.
Bobo Lay, everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Poison Clan rocks the world.